Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. With me, of course, is the Welsh, and it's all of you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks, fresh off a holiday weekend. I feel good. I feel refreshed. I had a whole day off. I worked 7 days last week. It was a long week, a whole day of grilling and playing outside, little volleyball, little badminton, a little bocce. Did some wings on the grill, Welsh. We did some chorizos on the grill, some mojo chicken. That's a nice citrus chicken marinated. Put that on the grill. It was a beautiful day of grilling and chilling. And as you can tell, I'm very refreshed. I've already off-put most of the people who are back at work today watching the show here on our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. You can go and join right now. We're here live Monday through Friday, every single weekday, noon Eastern. And you can watch us on demand, of course, on our YouTube channel, Fantasy Pros MLB. Welsh, the only downside to the weekend is I watched one of those videos, where they turn the movies into little babies, the characters, and now that's all my feed is. Literally any film or television thing in the last 30 years is on my feed, but they're all babies, and it's upsetting me.
The AI trends too, man. Like, what did we have? We had the toys. Everyone's making everybody into toy. Like, they're just finding really great rhythms of stuff. I gotta tell you though, the baby one's pretty great though. The baby ones,
it is.
I don't know if I love the reenaction of, they just putting in the audio of the movies than I do just the application. There's one where the baby is interviewing a dog and he's like, I have a serious question for you. He's like, what are you? I laugh with my teeth out like a big stupid idiot every time I see that one. But you know what? Enjoy your baby movies.
Like A Few Good Men was funny. I like
Schindler's List
one
with babies.
Oh, still Riot. But seriously, like, it's the ones that are already funny, like the Water Boy. Like, I don't want to see that one. Like, that's not that funny. Although a fat guy in a little coat from Tommy Boy did make me laugh. That one was on there this morning. All right, let's get to baseball because there's so much of it because everything has happened in the last 3 days. I don't know how many home runs you got. I thought I was off to a rip-roaring start with Judge on Friday night. Boy, I was like, all right, let's go. But I only got the one from him over the weekend, so that was misery. Let's talk about Shohei Ohtani. He's pretty good. 2 walks, a home run. That's back-to-back days with leadoff homers. So the Dodgers, despite losing 2 of 3 to the Mets, rebounded yesterday.
Oh, no.
Beat up 7 strikeouts for Yamamoto. So the Dodgers back on track. Yamamoto, should he be the front runner for Cy Young over Paul Skeens?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Skeens he's shown some signs of reality and not being a superhuman pitcher. I think Yamamoto has been relatively superhuman. That's also good for the market too, in the betting side, if there are bets to be had. But yeah, I think Yamamoto is your current front leader. I think it should be pretty close between those guys. It's not like the AL. I mean, maybe people think the AL is more competitive. I don't know how you do after I can't believe we're not talking about I don't even know if it's on here, the Tariq Skubal outing over this weekend. 13 strikeouts, full game, just absolutely ballistic. I mean, Tariq Skubal is like the hands down Cy Young AL candidate, the candidate of candidates. And I thought I might be getting back, by the way. I did that preseason bet of Garrett Crochet to lead the league in strikeouts. There's top 5 or 6 guys are within 6 strikeouts. Skubal just jumps up. AL's locked in. NL, there's a lot more competition, but Yamamoto should be at the top. Doesn't mean he'll be there in 2 months.
Skubal actually was down to plus 100 after that start. Over the weekend, he was more like 2.5, 280. Max Fried also 4-1. Fried's ERA has been pretty good, and he pitches for the Yankees. Let's not forget. You pitch for the Yankees. It's everybody's got the media attention there, but Paul Skeens still at the top, plus 240. Yamamoto plus 280. So it's a market worth watching. You know what else is worth watching, Welsh? Kevin Gausman. Through 8 innings, limited the Rangers to just 1 run and a 2-1 win. Tommy Edman, by the way, was resting. Yeah, he needs to get rested up. Hyeseong Kim was playing over Tommy Edman. So last 2 starts for Kevin Gausman, pretty good, I would say. If you look overall, the ERA is at 3.68 over 11 starts. The WHIP is under 1, 61 strikeouts and 66 innings. So Welsh, what's been the key to the turnaround these last couple starts for Kevin Gausman? Is it just simply spite?
It might be spite. There's definitely, if he's a piece of Pia guy, that could be for sure. He's still inconsistent though. Like, I think he looks really good. He's cut down the walk. So if you're like, what's the key? He's walking 4.7% of batters. Last year it was over 7.5 to be a matter of fact. So I would say that's probably your biggest key. Also looking, the split finger has been ridiculous. He's underperforming against the fastball, or hitters are underperforming against him. They've got like a 50-point batting average boost that is expected. But I think also some of that is built in that Kevin Gausman is more than serviceable. But where he goes 8 and gives up 1, 2 starts before he gives up 6 and goes 5 2/3. He's given up 6 in 2 of his last 6 starts as well. But he's also had some gems in there. So Gausman is just like I don't know if you need to ask yourself if you should start him. He's in that level of comfort, but at the same time, he might blow you up a little bit with these. But 3.5, a little over 3.5 expected ERA. Gausman is a little bit better than advertised early on.
Yes, I think maybe you're right. It's not been perfect by any stretch of the means, but these last 2 starts especially, very solid. If you could build on that, we could have a big second half or 2/3 of the season. We're already a third of the way done. We're through 50 games, so now we're really, the rubber's meeting the road. Let's get to Garza's question here. Joey, I know you're a big Soto guy. I am. And Welsh's big Crochet guy. He is, despite Mike Mayer's barbs. 12-team dynasty, I made this move this weekend. Traded Crochet and Teoscar for Soto and Schwellenbach. What side would you prefer to be on? Garza, I'll tell you, I want the Soto side. I want the 26-year-old position player. Crochet is tremendous. Arm issues happen. Injuries happen. Multiple Tommy Johns can happen. All kinds of things can happen. I'd rather take the young asset in Soto. He's struggling in his first year as a Met. Like I said, a million times. Remember a couple years ago, everybody was booing Lindor. Remember the thumbs down with him and Baez? Remember that whole moment? Everybody hated Lindor. Now he's like the most beloved human being in that clubhouse. He's basically the default captain. They booed the hell out of Piazza. They hated Beltran. And then, Piazza and Lindor learned to turn it around. Beltran never did, and they never, fell in love with him consequently. It'll be fine with Soto. He gets it. What side do you want to be on? You got Schwellenbach, too. I thought it was a pretty good job getting him in that deal.
This is an easy Soto and Schwellenbach for me. Definitely. I mean, like Soto for Crochet straight up, I'm going to side on the hitters. I'm 100% going to side on the hitter there. But also you're getting Schwellenbach thrown into there. Schwellenbach is absolutely underperformed this year. Probably one of my more disappointing takes was like the step that he was going to take. And, it was good early on, 21, but he's dropped in K percentage, 21%, less strikeouts than innings pitched. ERA is okay. He's giving up just more barreled contact. He just doesn't look as elite as he did last year. And by the way, that's with increased fastball velo. So he just hasn't had that stuff. All of that to be said, an incredible dynasty pickup. So I think that's a rousing win that you're getting for both of those pieces, because I think they're both wins. Schwellenbach over Teoscar for sure, and Soto over Crochet.
Yeah, at the age especially. Good job, Garza. Going back to the Blue Jays for a moment, Jeff Hoffman got the save in that game. He's up to 11, so I'm shocked that they went back to Hoffman again this weekend. I just did not think that was going to happen. Also, see, this is why we can't have nice things. Jacob deGrom exited Monday. He allowed 2 runs, 5 1/3. He was having a finger issue. So obviously, okay, that's the issue. And it doesn't seem like a serious one. It seems like a blister, but still, he was not himself, and certainly not himself that the previous start against the Yankees we saw. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but not a bummer. Jackson Chourio leading off with a home run off Crochet. Hopefully he can get things going. Crochet did strike out 11 though. 2 runs in 6 2/3. Hayden Birdsong, let's talk about him, because I think there's a lot to discuss. He may or may not be on the trade video coming up soon. Let's get to him. So far, 12 total innings, 6 earned runs in 3 starts since moving to the rotation. He went 4 1/3 in a loss to the Tigers yesterday. When Kyle Harrison went in the rotation, I picked him up because I'm playing the long game here, that I think Harrison is the one that sticks and not Birdsong when Verlander comes back eventually from injury. That's the game I'm playing based on what Harrison was doing at AAA. How do you see Harrison and Birdsong? Who do you think is the guy that sticks in that rotation in the next couple weeks ahead, when I assume we get Verlander back from that pec injury?
Yeah, that's interesting because they've got so many options too. I tend to lean that it's Birdsong because they had already given him that opportunity early on. They moved him from the bullpen into the starting role, and it took an extra injury for them to move Kyle Harrison in. Though Kyle Harrison is more highly touted, I think some of the stuff that Birdsong is like, Birdsong's got a 2.5 ERA. Like, you're not going to take him out of there. Expected numbers, are a little bit higher. He's giving up a little bit too much contact when you look at it. Hard hit. He's getting hit up. But, he's lowered the walk rate since he's been in as a starter. The Ks look really good. I'm going to lean on Birdsong here, but I do think if Kyle Harrison is right, he will be even more fantasy relevant.
See, I think, the other part of the Birdsong equation too is, do you want Harrison in there as the lefty, right? Like, I think you want the other, you want to mix up that rotation a little bit more potentially, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Speaking of mixing it up, how about Adrian Houser? What happened here in the last two starts? Was there an Adrian Houser revenge game narrative yesterday that somehow I missed against the Mets? 12 consecutive scoreless innings since making his White Sox debut. Is he becoming a streamer, Welsh, after these two starts in deeper leagues?
Fool me once. No, I don't think we've been ever fooled really by Adrian Houser. I mean, I'll say I'm looking here. It was curveball and changeup. It's actually pretty crazy. I'm not sure I've seen this before. Top two pitches used, sinker and four-seam fastball in different variations, 0 whiffs whatsoever. He got his called strikes on them, and he got massive whiff rates on his curveball and changeup, 86% whiff rate on his changeup. He did not throw those secondaries in the zone at all. To me, that's going to be a guy that you're going to have guys not offering out at that breaking stuff, and they're going to just be sitting fastball. Maybe, he fixed something, but he's coming. I don't buy it. I don't buy into Adrian Houser. If there's like a really poor matchup, guys with really bad plate discipline that's coming up, maybe I would stream him. I don't buy it. He's going
against the Orioles next on Sunday, so I kind of look at that and streaming, and I'm like,
that's some bad plate discipline.
Yeah, I'm intrigued in deeper leagues as a streamer because if he has another good start, if you pick him up now and he has another good start against the Orioles, then I think he becomes like a legitimate waiver wire option for everybody.
It's just you don't have run support. You're not going to have any run support.
Yeah, but there's a lot of teams that have, decent pitchers that don't have run support. Like, you can kind of take that with a grain of salt. To do it against the Mets lineup is impressive to me. Like, that was the one where I was like, okay, the first one you throw away, second one against the Mets, all right, it's a pretty good start. And then if he has another good start against the Orioles, something to keep in mind. Transaction time, pluses and minuses. Actually, both probably, depressing in some ways here. The Angels sent down Kyron Paris. So remember that week? That was awesome. That was fun. That was a good time. I am sorry. Like, I just was never buying that he could change his stripes that much. It was just a magical week, and that happens. Tuffy Rhodes hit 3 home runs on opening day. And if you're saying who's Tuffy Rhodes, exactly the point. Also sent down to AAA.
Please welcome to the stage at AAA Syracuse for the New York Mets, Genesis Cabrera.
Yep.
So at least
put your money on me.
All right, let's get to some rookie lookies. This pissed me off, and a lot of people, actually, people on the Twitter machine were sending me this going, what the hell? And I'm in agreement, man. Logan Henderson gets sent to AAA Nashville, and I get it. It's because they have Woodruff eventually coming back and Quintana eventually coming back, and they just felt like, well, let Logan stay on his 5-day pace and stuff like that. Whatever. Don't drop him. Hold him. Be smart. D.L. Hall came back for him. They wanted some extra bullpen help. Chase DeLauder. Remember him, Welsh?
I saw him the other day.
Yeah, first, of course you did. You guys hung out and played Mahjong after the game. First home run of the season for him. Now, he was dealing with an injury the first 2 months of the season, a sports hernia, which sounds kind of unpleasant and painful. But DeLauder, once upon a time, was one of these guys that we were really excited about. He's had a ton of injuries that have set back his development. What do you do here in these, cagey deeper leagues? Do you want to stash DeLauder now? Because that Guardians lineup needs help. I don't know if it's Kifus. I don't know if it's DeLauder. I don't know if it's both. But they need help in the worst way, and they need it quick.
Well, but I just don't know if he's going to be quick. So, he's been riddled with injuries. He is one of the worst injury-prone minor leaguers out there. He just played like 6 or 7 minor league games out here in complexes where I saw him back up into AAA. I love the power potential. I love the way he makes contact. He's got this short path of the bat that gets in. He can run. He just always gets hurt. To that end, though, it might behoove the team to just get him up to the majors and see what we can have. Maybe get the major league training staff in there, something. In a deep league, I do think he's worth looking at. Because of his injury proneness, I'm not sure if I want to go make some like big drastic move on him, just because I could 100% seeing him get re-hurt in this. But I do think there's a possibility he could be up before Kafis, just because like he was a corner infield ready guy. It's also going to be dependent on what is it they're looking for. But I do think you should start paying attention to DeLauder. And if it's, one of those big ones and you can stash, then he might be worth stashing.
All right. The Marlins recalled Victor Mesa Jr. from AAA. Any interest in him?
Little bit, probably minimal, I think, of what the fantasy impact is going to be. I don't think it's going to be there what you guys want. There's some stolen base potential. There's some contact, a little bit of power. I would probably pass.
The 27-year-old John Rave. I want to like get his entrance should be all like glow sticks and fun things. That would be awesome.
Do people still rave? Do you think are there still raves?
I don't.
Was raves more of like a '90s thing for us?
Oh, it was a late '90s, early 2000s thing for sure. It was very strong in the early 2000s.
But do you think they're still like?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think everyone's too busy on their phones. My daughters are in that, teenage phase now. So they go to the school dances, and instead of everyone just like being awkward or dancing with their friends or whatever, now everyone's just videoing everyone else dancing like all at the same time. So it's just it's very weird. It's just a very weird vibe. Like you see all the the phones going at the same time with the lights, but it's just a weird interaction. It's like everyone's videoing themselves having a good time instead of actually having a good time, which I think it's hard. I think
raves would probably be like a nostalgic thing, like how 20 years ago they've been like, let's have a 1930s, blah blah blah. Like they would just be like, let's rave and let's have a throwback.
It sounds like one of those reels, right? New York has got one of the best raves out there, but it's hard to find. If you go down 3 tunnels here, you're going to find glow sticks and ecstasy. It's awesome. Blah, blah, blah. That's probably what it is. Now, we have a good time on camera here every day, but that's different. We're trained professionals. I worry about this generation. I do.
Yes, very true.
But anyway, let's talk about the worry for Bruce Bochy because he's pissed off. He's mad and he's not going to take it anymore because apparently Bob Nightingale put out, he must be a fan of the show because I've been saying this for months now, that Kumar Rocker might be considered as a closer. No doy. Of course he should because they have a need. He throws hard. He's a big intimidating presence and he's only got about, 16 more innings left in his tank probably all year. So why not convert him into a closer? But they got all up in arms and said, that's not happening right now, blah, blah, blah. They didn't say never. Just saying, they didn't say never, which is very interesting. So you got to keep an eye on some of these younger players and how they can help your team. Because the Rangers right now, you got to look at the standings and say, maybe if we had held on to a couple more games in the bullpen, we might be in first place in the American League West.
Who's on first place? Yeah, I did think of you when I saw that. I immediately thought of you with the Kumar Rocker thing, but yeah, I don't know. I think they get up in arms about it because it's so not true. But I do think it's probably someone in the organization that's like, yeah, this has been talked about, but more of a long-standing thing. I think Kumar Rocker could work in that. He could up his velo. He's got a devastating slider. He's got the makings of it. But the reason they probably get pissy about that is like, you don't want to throw a young pitcher that immediately because it can kind of change the whole scope. Very, very, I don't feel like that happens often. Edwin Diaz was someone that happened to with the Mariners where he was like a starter and then it was just instantly he was a closer at a young,
Mason
early
Miller?
age.
That hasn't worked out for the
Athletics. But the transition happened like when he was in the minors, like from a starter to a reliever. It was always kind of that.
Still in the minors because he's in rehab.
Well, because he's hurt. Yeah.
What I'm just saying is like he's hurt already. Like that was the thing with Mason Miller too. Is like health is an issue, innings are an issue. We love the arm. Let's give him a clean 9th inning for a couple days and see how that goes. And you know what? The rest is history.
I don't think we'll see it. I don't think we'll see it though. Even out of spite, I think they would like out of spite not give Bob Nightingale the satisfaction of being right on the story.
Yeah. BD saying Stefan can tell us all about the Rays. Major League Baseball's hottest new club is called Designated Hitter. This thing's got everything. Rob Manfred sweaters. It's got AAA players. Genesis Cabrera. It's got walk-off home runs. It's got everything.
You should do the full sweater, the beige with the color.
I love it. Stefan is one of my all-time favorite characters.
Bill Hader is one of my favorite of all time.
I love Bill Hader. But that Stefan character and the stories they tell about how, so they would do rehearsal and then John Mulaney, who used to write that character, they would go in and John Mulaney would change all the cards and he would have all new things that he never saw before with like little parentheses of how he should say stuff. I don't know if you know the story. That's why you get those reactions from him where the mouth covering started because he was laughing and it just became a character thing. because he knew he couldn't like keep it together because some of the things he saw coming up.
That's funny.
That you have to say. Just amazing. You know what's coming up next, by the way? A little segment we like to call Prospecting with the Welsh. That's right, everybody. It's time to look at the prospects who are down on the farm, who we might be seeing sooner than later at the major league level. And of course, it wouldn't be a prospecting show, Welsh, without dun 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 Bubba Watch.
Bubba Watch. We will continue watching forever. We'll be retiring before he comes up. Bubba Chandler. So we got to talk about it because, well, and like a twofold piece here, because there's also only so long that we can like continue to do updates. But here's the problem with the most recent update. His last start on the 24th, Bubba was rattling off like 6 no-hit innings, and he finished. He did give up a couple earned runs. He went 6 1/3, 2 earned runs, little walk heavy, and I think that's continuously been his problem. 5 strikeouts, held batters to 178. He has held batters to under a 200 batting average every single start the entire season. Why is he being held back? You can argue, his ability to continuously throw strikes and not walk is really important. He did hit a batter in this one. I think we all know it is some type of a manipulation of like a Super 2 because there was an opening and they brought up Braxton Ashcraft. And Ashcraft is an interesting prospect for sure. He kind of fell down the ranks of like under Thomas Harrington, everything like that. But that was a clear throw in our face that Bubba Chandler is not there and is not ready. Now, there could be timing issues or that they're manipulating. Is it because he is ready? He has gone at least 5 in 2 of his last 3.
It's money. That's all
it is. It's a money situation. So the question, everybody, is Bubba Chandler coming up? Yes, he is going to be up, but it is probably going to align perfectly to that Super 2, which gets probably early-ish June, early to mid-June. I will say there's a little bit of worry with me with the walks. He has had 3 or more walks in 3 of his last 4 starts, which I think is something they're going to watch. And I'm worried he's going to pull some Dylan Ceases in the majors where he fights to get to 5 innings, but he could be striking out 10. He's the most prolific, pitching prospect that we could get out there. And the top 2 guys of him and Roman Anthony, they're there. We're just waiting for the team to push it and make it happen. Bubba Chandler watch is officially silly at this point after those 6 no-hit innings he was throwing. He's got to be up, and he will be up very, very soon.
Speaking of guys who could be up very soon, can we talk about Jac Caglianone for a second? Holy crap. This guy is absolutely on fire since getting called up to AAA. He is hitting home runs everywhere. Welsh, he does not seem intimidated by the next level. And the only thing that's keeping him away also seems like a service time question, maybe just wanting to get some more at-bats and exposure. Now, I understand one great week does not all of a sudden make for a call-up, but if he continues to do this for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I don't see how the Royals keep him down, especially since they are so bereft of offense. You're talking about a team in the bottom of the league in runs scored. How do they not take a look at Caglianone sooner than later?
Yeah, I think there's some things like maybe in his game that they're still worried about, like the longevity of how, he's going to be able to maintain and hit for contact and stuff like that. But he's making it look silly right now. He's had homers in 4 straight games. I think one of them was a multi-hit homer game. He's done nothing but absolutely crush AAA. He's hitting 346 with 5 homers, a 14% K percentage, which is ridiculous, and a 900 slug. Even better since we're now getting some data. Currently averaging 95 miles per hour on everything hit. He's already put up essentially a 114 max EV hit and over 60% hard hit rate. Here's the other plus. He's playing in the outfield. They threw him out into the outfield already. So I think that tells us a sign of how quick the timeline is going. The thing we talked about a couple of weeks ago where it's like, hey, he could just be up. They could move him from AA. We might kind of look at this like that. I don't know if he plays 5 more games at AAA. If the team just doesn't say, screw it, let's get him up. We don't need the John Raves of the world. We want Caglianone to play a little bit of outfield. He can DH. He can play first. You can kind of learn on the job, and let's get his bat there now. Let's get it here yesterday. I still believe he is coming up pre-All-Star break. Frankly, I wouldn't be shocked if he's up before June, but he's at a level right now where what else is it that you're looking for? It has to only be defensively because he's not striking out. He's making contact. He's hitting everything hard, and he's performing better than probably 80% of your major league roster right now. So Jac Caglianone, we are, let's hyper aggressive the pickups. Before it was like, hey, let's speculate in June. Now you should do it right now because no one else is going to let you hold on to him.
No, you have to. I mean, there's a guy in my home league that I've been holding on to since the draft, and I'm just sticking with him right now. Just kind of looking at the roster percentage for Jac Caglianone on CBS currently. That's a pretty good spot because you have so many paid leagues. He's already 56% rostered, so that's including all of the dynasty leagues and whatnot. So it's a guy that you better get on this trade now and stash him because at the very least he has trade value in a deal if the Royals drag their feet like the Pirates like to do sometimes. Now the White Sox, they have very little incentive to drag their feet. Just bring up the kids and let them try. And Kyle Teel, who is the centerpiece of that Garrett Crochet deal, could be that next one. Let's talk about Kyle Teel, the young catcher for the White Sox.
Yeah, so I would say the first biggest issue is Edgar Quero. You know, they brought up Edgar Quero. They didn't go to Kyle Teel, but Kyle Teel has, you know, he put up a decent amount last year in AAA. I think it was 28 games. He's 43 games in here. He's hitting 293. Average went down. He's popped back up. 7 homers, 4 stolen bases. Something that I think this team can do if you want to start revving this up is if you optioned Andrew Vaughn and you also optioned Tim Elko, I think you can set Teel or Quero, probably Teel, to first base. Let him be a first baseman and a secondary catcher. And not that you need to push players again. You know, this is a team that's not a winning team, but this is also a guy that's, I think, outdone AAA. Like, why do we need, he's already, what is this, 61 games into AAA. I'm not sure how much further you want to keep him down. So I think he could be a first base option. Ks are a little bit up, but he walks. He's hitting for average. He's pushing a 3.45 slash right now, 7 homers, 4 stolen bases. Kyle Teel is really interesting. And he is upticked his AAA from year over year when he was with Boston to White Sox. He's hitting the ball on average 3 miles an hour harder. He's got a 112 max EV showing pure raw power. And he's got a 43% hard hit rate, which is pretty good. So I think we could be seeing him at first base here in the very near future.
All right, speaking of first baseman, how about Jonathon Long of the Cubs having a really good year so far? 172 at-bats at 2025 AAA level for the Cubbies in Iowa. 6 homers, 37 ribbies, 2 steals for good measure, hitting .355 with a .961 OPS. Those are some fantastic numbers. So what's the path for Long to maybe break in here with the Cubs?
Well, I think the path is the biggest issue that we're staring at, but he has been one of the most prolific minor league hitters so far, hitting .355. I mean, that's up near the top. I think he's in the top 5, maybe top 3 of hits across AAA right now. Those are the type of guys that are going to just get some type of look. You would also argue, like, how long do you keep him down? He's about 50 games into his AAA career, hitting .355 with a 400 slug. I think Jonathon Long's path is kind of dicey with Bush and Matt Shaw, but if Matt Shaw were to struggle and they were to push back, like Bush going to third base, Jonathon Long could come up. The problem would be positionally, I'm just not 100% sure where they'd be comfortable outside of first base. So he also could be a trade candidate. The thing to pay attention to with Jonathon Long, though, makes a ton of contact, has some good raw power, AFL last year, and whether it's a trade asset or there's some type of injury, he's going to get a look here in the very near future, and he might be one of those guys that hits early. Cubs, though, they just got so many guys that can play first base, and Moises Ballesteros and him, and then you got, you know, Michael Bush who's in the infield, and Matt Shaw. It makes it really tough, but Jonathon Long is going to get that treatment where it doesn't serve him being down much longer.
Maybe he's a trade chip to get some more pitching because the Cubbies are going to need it. Imanaga
They could use it.
Not enough for that rotation. They need a lot more help if they're going to stay competitive in that central at the top of that division. So that's this week's version of Prospecting at the Welsh. Head over to FantasyPros.com for more prospect news and analysis by the Welsh himself. And of course, make sure you follow us on our YouTube channel, Fantasy Pros MLB. Let's get to some more baseball. Welsh, what was that new stat that you were obsessed with last week?
Attack angle?
Attack Angle, that's it. MLB's newest club is Attack Angle. It's got everything. Tommy Lasorda making pasta sauce, Ozzie Canseco in short shorts, John Olerud helmet Sundays. It's got everything. Would you go there?
I would go there, 100%.
I would totally go there. All right. God, I love Stephon. All right. And speaking of, going to the club and going to those raves, you want to be at your best when you do all that stuff. You know, it's a long night of party, and if something feels off for you and you don't want to be fatigued and recovery, takes longer and your performance isn't where it used to be in the 90s when you were going to raves, these might be signs of low testosterone, a condition affecting about 30% of adult men in America. And Kaisertrex is an FDA-approved testosterone replacement therapy designed for men like you. It's not an injection. It's not a gel. It's a twice-daily pill that fits you seamlessly into your active lifestyle, helping to restore your testosterone to optimal levels. Know your T-score and get tested now by visiting kaisertrex.com/testing kit. That's KYZATREX.com/testing kit by prescription only. Kaisertrex is a controlled substance that can be a target of abuse. Don't abuse it. That's mean. Don't do that. Kaisertrex is not for use in pregnant women or men with prostate or breast cancer. Safety and efficacy in those younger than 18 is not known. Tell your doctor about medical conditions and medications before beginning Kaisertrex. Serious side effects could include increased blood pressure, worsening prostate symptoms, increased risk of prostate cancer, blood clots in the legs or lungs, decreased sperm count, liver problems, enlarged or painful breasts, breathing problems while you sleep. Common side effects include swelling of the ankles, feet, or body, increased red blood cell count, increased PSA levels. That's a prostate-specific antigen level, and that's a PSA test used to detect prostate cancer. Report these symptoms to your doctor immediately. Call your doctor to learn more about Kaisertrex. For questions or more information, visit kaisertrex.com or 1-833-949-5040. Let's get to the ups and the downs, shall we, Welsh? Up, Eugenio Suarez at a homer yesterday in a 5-0 win for the D-backs. Wyatt Langford drilled his 10th, and Ryan Yarbrough somehow continues to be really good. I'm kind of mad I didn't pick him up just on principle that he was a Yankee pitcher, but I didn't see this coming at all. 6 innings, 7 strikeouts. I don't care if it's against the Angels. He's been good against everybody. How shocked are you that Yarbrough has been so consistently good for the Yankees as a starter?
I'm actually pretty surprised. That definitely wasn't on my bingo card, that Ryan Yarbrough, because Ryan Yarbrough was like being, a relegated like spot starter relief type of guy, but ERA and expected ERA are the same, 25% K percentage. He's lowering his walks right now. He's giving up just absolutely no barreled contact, and he's doing it without throwing 90 miles an hour. His sinker averages 87 right now, which is just crazy. But yeah, I'm trying to look through. Sustainability seems weird, but I will tell you, his changeup has taken a whole nother step. Last year, he used it 15% of the time, 246 average against with a 22% whiff rate. This year, he's throwing it almost 22% of the time, 148 batting average against, and a 46% whiff rate. 46%. So his changeup has completely, no pun intended, changed the game for him. And maybe it's going to make him be some type of viable starter. Another just oddity, he throws 4 pitches all the same amount of time, essentially. 21.9, 22.4, 22.4, 24.3. Those are all percentages used. That's weird. You usually see 35 and 24 and then and it's just like 4 straight pitches he throws all similarly, and it's getting a lot of whiffs right now. So maybe he has more sustainability. I still kind of don't buy it, but I did offer up on a couple different spots, a Shohei did, and some other things I've done, that Ryan Yarbrough was someone I was looking at in poor matchups, like against the Angels, and it worked.
Yeah, absolutely. As a reliever this year, 15 innings, a 4 ERA, a 1.3 whip. As a starter, 20 innings, 4 starts, a 2.25 ERA, 19 strikeouts, 5 walks, a .85 whip. I mean, that's crazy. Crazy stats there on Yarbrough. The downs, Gavin Williams, again, inefficient, all over the place, 4 2/3. He's disappointing. Lars Nootbaar, 0 for 4, struck out 3 times. Not quite the Cinco Stinko, but he got there close. He is just 1 for 19 in his last 5 games. Oof. In the month of May, he's slashing 209, 267, 330. Is Nootbaar a buy for you, or just a guy coming back down to earth?
He's coming back down to earth. I used to love Lars Nootbaar, but
you did.
I just don't know where I buy it. I think this is more of a comeback down, because I think it's more, let me better phrase it, I'm just not into buying him. So maybe he's not even going to come back down to earth some dramatic amount, but even if he pops back up, it's not someone I'm looking to buy. Also, sustainability of anybody that's not like Brendan Donovan on that team. Wynn has struggled, Walker has been stinky. Or Ivan Herrera, I should say. Ivan Herrera and Brendan Donovan have been monsters. Everybody else is a little So I'm a little indifferent about Lars.
I'm a little concerned that the Cardinals, they're a grinding team. They don't, do anything particularly well. They hang in games. I give them credit. The pitching's been above expectations, but I don't think they can hang eventually over time. Josh Smith, 0 for 4, by the way. He's 5 for his last 42 over the last couple weeks, so not good for him. Injuries. Stop me if you heard this one before. Brandon Woodruff going to make a rehab start tomorrow at an affiliate to be determined.
I don't believe you.
Seriously. Shane Bieber, who Welsh actually saw recently, will begin his rehab assignment on Saturday. Cole Reagans threw a competitive bullpen yesterday, and it felt good. That's great. I love when you're competing, you feel good. Jordan Westberg working his way back. He's on a rehab starting today. Michael King, who was placed on the IL with a shoulder injury. Everybody was panicking, including me, about this. Schilt said that we believe it's not anything overly serious, so we'll see. Shoulder inflammation is never good. We'll figure it out. Emmett Sheehan struck out 5 over 2 perfect innings on Monday in a rehab start. Rookie level ball. Sheehan was a guy we thought, could be an interesting piece. High strikeout rate a couple years ago in the minor leagues. Then we had Tommy John last year, working his way back this year. Do you see Emmett Sheehan in the major leagues this year? I don't.
Oh yeah, I think he'll be in the majors in some capacity. Okay. It might be bullpen. It could be a spot start. I don't know if he gets thrown into a rotation, but at this point, he might be in the rotation because if you still don't have Snell, you don't have Glass now, you don't have Roki Sasaki, they're going to give him a shot. His only thing that's working against him is that I think it's going to be a long road. He did 2 innings here in complex ball. He'll probably do another one that's close to that. Then he'll move up, and it's going to be like the end of June by the time he's ready. What will the timeline be for someone like Roki Sasaki, and what will it be on Glass now? Could they be back or close? So even though I said like we could see him in the majors, I don't know if it'll be fantasy relevant.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that. Maybe next year. We'll see. Luis Heel, bullpen on Friday. Hyeseong Kim, 2 for 2 with a stolen base on Monday. I expect to see him soon. Jazz Chisholm is supposed to be starting rehab this week. Yuri Perez is going to make another minor league rehab start on Wednesday. He could join the rotation next week, apparently. That's been said. Sean Manaea will throw to hitters in live BP Thursday. Richard Fitz, apparently, instead of making another start, our boy Dick Fitz could just start for Boston today. I don't know if that happened, but I always say the same thing. If the Dick Fitz is ready, you just stick it in there to the rotation right away. Don't you think?
Yep. If the Dick
Corey
fits.
Seager is taking an on-field batting practice on Monday, and that is all the injury news we have for today. This is why you watch the show, kids, because it's serious. We take this very seriously here. Is he officially starting today? Did we get that?
I don't know if the Dick fits today.
You don't know? Well, we should get an update on that. I'd like to see that. Maybe all of his starts should be sponsored by
No.
See, that's next level marketing. That's what I would be doing if I was running these companies. You never forget it. Also, you never forget our best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh. Let's start out strong here. Nate Eovaldi is on the mound for the Texas Rangers, and my God, has he been great this season. Rangers have a few bats starting to hit, like Wyatt Langford, but this is all about taking advantage of Nate Eovaldi, going against the Toronto Blue Jays, an up and down order in and of itself. Also on the other side, Bowden Francis in this game. So give me Texas first 5 minus 128 today. It's my favorite bet of the day. Also, let's talk about the Atlanta Braves, just minus 102, with Spencer Strider on the mound. Now, I know it's against the Phillies, and the Phillies are tough, and everyone's starting to panic a little bit. I'm not. This is the Spencer Strider get right start, I believe. He's facing Ranger Suarez. Give me Strider over Suarez. Acuna's back. He's hitting home runs all over the place. I love it. And then Tyler the Terrible, who's been on a hot streak with strikeouts. 6.5 against the AAA Chicago White Sox, getting plus 130 on that. I like that number. Welsh, where are you going for your best bets today on a Tuesday?
I'm going to play a bunch of K props today. I'm going to start it off with Hunter Brown, 6.5 strikeouts, minus 110. Really like that number for one of the potential, a little regression, but still a Cy Young type guy. Taj Bradley, I'm getting big plus money. We played some plus money K props last week, and that worked well. Plus 120 at 5.5 strikeouts. And then I'm not against you on, Strider being able to be successful, but I'm not going to play the Ks with him right now. I'm going to play under 6.5 at minus 135. Yep. He has not been efficient. He hasn't been getting the strikeouts in the start, and then he got hurt. And then the next start, we have not seen that yet. Phillies maybe could be that. I'm not going to bank on it. I'm going to bank on the Phillies holding that down. I think they're going to get to him a tiny bit. Doesn't mean Atlanta's not going to win the game, but under 6.5 strikeouts for Spencer Strider. So over Brown and Bradley, under on Strider.
All right, I like that. Those are the best bets of the day. Make sure you head over to fantasypros.com/leading off, and on FanDuel, new customers bet $5, get 250 in bonus bets if you win. But that's only at fantasypros.com/leading off. And don't forget about the free trial of Betting Pros Premium today. Use the promo code leading off, download the app, and use the best tools like the prop bet cheat sheet, the betting systems, and more on Betting Pros. Okay, let's look at the home run board, shall we? I know it's a long show today. I'm sorry we didn't get to a lot of questions. Tomorrow, go hit us up on the YouTube. We're also going to take mailbag questions tomorrow from our Discord, but so much baseball because we haven't been here for 3 days. So home run board, I'm up to 12 over the weekend. Not quite where I want to be. I was hoping to be making the board here, but Wonky Penguin drops to 18. The Welsh is at 16. Marty is at 22, tied with George, far out, and DJ at 21. So not as much movement as I thought there might be on the board. Again, the Sammy Sosa jersey up for grabs. And again, if you want to go to our Discord for the mailbag questions, we're going to start doing from there. Or to make your home run calls, go to fantasypros.com/chat. Welsh, I'll make this easy. Today, I'm going with Ketel Marte, your boy, who's been pretty hot lately for those Arizona Diamondbacks at plus 350 is that number. Lock it in. That's my home run call. Maybe I get 2 today from Ketel. What do you think? Where's your home run call?
Marte Parte. I don't mind that at all.
Parte.
That is definitely what he's been doing. He's been hitting
like
homers.
A rave. That's a rave you can go to.
When we had Starling Marte and Ketel.
Everything. Yeah.
Oh, that's what they had. They had the Marte Parte shirts everywhere. Ketel and Starling. Good time. Great. I'm going to go Cal Tucker. Give me a Cal Tucker bomb today. Trying to get up this board. Trying to get onto this. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to make it by the end of the week. I might be gone, guys. I might be off this list, and I might never come back. I don't know. Homers have been few and far between. I got one from Pete Alonso over the last 4 days, so I'm grasping at straws here.
There you go. Well, hope everybody enjoyed it. Welcome back, everybody. We hope you're rested from the holiday week. Also, shout out to all of our men and women, our service members here. Hope you had a nice Memorial Day as well. That's what Memorial Day is supposed to be about at the end of the day, is remembering the service of those who came before us and currently keeping us safe. So shout out to all of our men and women in uniform. I know a lot of them watch and listen to the show too. So thank you on behalf of Welsh and our whole team and myself here over at Fantasy Pros. And we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we got a lot of shows. We got the MLB live stream on Wednesday, 4 o'clock Eastern on our YouTube channel. Go subscribe. Drop your comments below. You might win yourself a fun Jose Ramirez jersey. Lots of cool things going on. We've only got a couple days left of that one. So be a part of the channel. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. I've been looking around, Welsh. Trying to, I'm looking on FanDuel and MLB. Still no Dick Fitz announcement. Waiting for the big Dick Fitz announcement.
If the Dick Fitz doesn't
fit,
then don't make the bet.
The Dick Fitz, you must have quit.